What's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. We are back with another episode of the Team Building Podcast, and we have two of my favorite people here. We are talking about how to recruit real estate agents without a recruiter, which is a big, big deal. It would be a major breakthrough if we can bring more agents onto our team without having to hire a part or full-time person to spend all their time hitting the phones. That sounds awful. So let's talk to, we're going to talk to Frank Klesitz, the CEO of Vyral Marketing, about how some of the top agents in the country are doing that and following that program. It's a 4-step system that we're going to lay out on the call today. And first of all, the ever-shrinking man, the myth, the legend himself, Jeff Cohn. Jeff, what's up today?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, I just got back from Moab, Utah. We decided we would ride dirt bikes for 3 days, and I think I fell about 15 times, and I'm feeling those falls today. So hopefully I can stand the entire time and don't have to pull a seat up.
Sounds like a blast.
Break your face. Frank, you should have been there, man.
Frank
You would have loved it. Guys, I do want to make mention, Frank Klesitz and I took a class together at the University of Nebraska, Omaha, and I believe we did a negotiation against each other. I don't know if Frank remembers. I'm sure I won in that negotiation, but a few years went by, and I ran into him in Charleston, and he started telling me about this company he had started called Vyral Marketing. And I was kind of blown away with his mindset. He said, you don't need to rely on Google if you can build your own Google. And at the time, I was probably generating 300 leads a month. And he said, what if you captured every one of those leads, had their phone number, email address, and maybe even their home address, and you sent them an email every 2 weeks? So we've been doing that for 6 years, and we now have a database of over 250,000 people in Omaha, Nebraska. There's only 330,000 people in the city limits of Omaha, Nebraska. So, Frank, thank you so much, and thanks for coming on our show today.
You know, it's funny, Jeff, that one little shift is what we've been teaching for 10 years. And it's very common, like in the internet marketing, building your list, marketing space. It's all about like, yeah, we got to get the contact information of people and put them on some type of nurture plan, you know. But in professional services, such as real estate, you know, any other service, it's not known. And just by you making that shift of like, hey, of all the people we talk to, let's make sure we get their contact information and put them on some type of nurture plan that's actually helpful and meaningful and not just a bunch of canned junk, which is important. That's what you've done. So kudos to you. How many homes you sell last year?
Well, we sold over 700. Hopefully we'll sell about 1,000 this year. And our growth has been parallel with the growth of our database. So I do think that there's some analytics that we could take a peek at there. Frank's going to be shy, but they have hundreds and hundreds of clients, almost over 1,000 clients. And they would love for anyone listening to be one of theirs. Frank, right now it's what, $525 a month, you guys? It's crazy and inexpensive to have the Vyral solution. And they send out 2 videos a month, and they write a whole article about the video. And then the whole goal is when people click on a call to action, and this is something I didn't do for the first couple of years. I think we have a video making fun of me about it. But when someone clicks on the call to actions, you then have someone within your team or a virtual assistant follow up on all the individuals that click. And we are averaging right now about 500 clicks per email that goes out of people that click on the call to action. And then I have my virtual assistant spend a few days following up with those opportunities. And the number one thing is that we offer value. So if the message doesn't, like Frank just shared, then it's pointless. Don't send it. There's tons of ideas. People are always worried there's not topics to talk about. Go to my blog page on omahaselite.com. You'll find there's like hundreds and hundreds of blog videos all creating value for the consumer.
Well, I remember, Jeff, just to kind of transition to the topic today, you know, you came out to San Diego, and I don't remember how many agents you had at the time, but you're like, I just got to get more agents. And you're like, how do I do that without having to spend, you know, 50, 60, 70, whatever a year on hiring a recruiter, just like pound phones, right?
Right.
I was like, man, like that same system, like we need to basically kind of do 4 things. This is the funnel I'd like to talk about, how you implemented, how you attracted agents. So if you look at the top of the funnel for recruiting, the top of the funnel is essentially, I'll use this language because I think people can relate to it. Essentially, you created a free real estate agent training newsletter. Now, it wasn't like a print newsletter, what you're probably thinking of, but more or less it's kind of the current times of that. It's a blog, it's a Facebook page, it's a series of emails and posts. You basically started posting a bunch of free educational agent content so people would actually get to know you and spend time with you in your marketplace. And We'll probably talk about how we get people to consume that and everything else. So then once people spend time with you and realize you're actually a good guy, even though you sell a lot of real estate in Omaha, they're going to go, wow, he really has something to say that could really help me. And then from there, you would put in front of them your in-office events. You hold currently how many trainings a week in your office, Jeff?
2 trainings a week. Well, 3 depending on how you look at them. We have a new agent training as well, so 3 a week.
Yeah, so you have 2 to 3 trainings a week, and you just decided, hey, if anyone else in the marketplace or the MLS rather would like to come join us. So people would start showing up at your events.
Yep. We have one formal event a month that we spend $500 in AdWords to promote and push, and we use our virtual assistant to call and invite. But every event, every training is open to anyone. But there's one a month we call our Omaha's Elite Real Estate Mastermind, and we have a Facebook page with over 1,000 agents who have accepted our invites. And we stream all the trainings to that page on that one day. Because, of course, with Elite Real Estate Systems, we're selling access to our live stream training. But we make that one stream on that day that we invite everyone to attend. If they don't physically attend, they then will have access to that entire training on the Omaha's Elite Real Estate Mastermind page. So anyone listening can actually go out and join that Facebook page if you want to see some examples of what we've done with that. Omaha's Elite Real Estate Mastermind on Facebook.
Yeah. So basically, you just took your existing training, and for lack of a way of getting there, you started just taking little excerpts of it and just putting it out to the MLS. And then you just opened up your existing training for people to come to, or come to one of your additional events like you shared, like it's just more of a general across all brokerage brands mastermind. And then eventually over time, agents are probably going to say, why am I driving all the way out here to come to your stuff all the time? Everything's so awesome with you. Why am I with my current situation? And they will come to you.
The challenge is people assume that, like you mentioned, like you're number one in your marketplace or a top 10 or whatever. People just assume you got there out of happen chance. You lucked out. And what I've found is with the teams that produce at the highest level, there's some special sauce that has actually helped them be number one in their marketplace. Look at any business and draw a parallel there. Usually there's some competitive advantage. And so people come out and they see that it's not just one thing. It's 6, 7, 10 different things like accountability and lead generation and coaching and training and mentorship and motivating and back-end systems and technology and software and office space and all these things. And they get to finally touch it, feel it, smell it, see it. The hardest thing, Frank, and I think you would agree with most of your customers that you coach, is just simply getting in front of all of these other agents that don't really truly know who you are and trying to have a reason for them to come and visit you. No one wants to go to recruiting night. We've done recruiting night, and we'll get like 3 or 4 people out. But when we do a training on, hey, how does Omaha's Elite sell over 700 houses a year? What's their top 3 lead sources? We get 20 or 30 people in the room.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
Yeah, so eventually over time, people will come to your training, they watch your stuff, and they reach out to you and say, hey, man, can you help me with my business? And you have a one-on-one meeting with them. And then you pretty much honestly kind of have 2 offers for them, because sometimes these meetings are with agents out of state, and the offer is, hey, you can come join my team. Here's how it works. Here's the value proposition. Here's my agent calculator, which is wonderful that you have, that explains their current production levels and how much money they'll save with you, and like really spells out dollars and cents where the money is going, and the value you give them. And you have some coaching options. So your recruiting is so, like, this whole coaching and training company you provide, which I want the audience to understand, is nothing more than just the natural evolution and extension of you doing a great job of coaching the train agents in your marketplace. It's just that you had more people outside of your marketplace that wanted your help, so it evolved into this company.
Sure.
Which is fantastic.
I talk about the main 3 pillars of growth. Number 1 is recruiting talent. Number 2 is retaining by offering value. And one of those value adds, which is number 3, is training. And if you're always focused on training your agents, they're always going to improve. And people's biggest fear is that by teaching and training their agents, that their agents will one day leave them. But I have the belief that if you give your agents the ability to be just like you, that it'll elevate you as long as you're continuing to offer more value to them. And the dysfunction in team leadership and leadership in general is that leaders don't continue to level up. So their agents get to their level, if not beyond their level, and then they leave. And so we've taken even as far as to tell our agents to stop selling real estate. I tell all my agents that are listening right now, you should not sell one single home in 2018. Your time should be spent recruiting and building a team within our team that allows you to not sell and focus on more important activities like outbound prospecting, signing listing agreements, signing buyer's agency agreements, and then turning all the servicing over to the team within Omaha's Elite. And we now have over 10 agents that have built teams within my team.
So what I like to do here is to deliver on the promise of this podcast is how to recruit agents without having to have a recruiter. I want to, and Johnson, jump in anytime here, man, but I want to talk about kind of this process, this 4-step process that we're going to get into today. And I want to spend some time on kind of the pre of the 4 steps. I want to talk about changing your identity, of seeing yourself as a leader and trainer of other agents in your marketplace and not just an agent. Now, that's very natural for you, Jeff. It's very natural for me to see myself as a trainer of marketers. But the identity problem is a huge jump. A regular human being that's been working in a profession has to jump of like, I now coach and train other people in my profession. So once you kind of have that as a foundation, the first step I want to talk about is crafting your offer, to be able to actually present your offer to somebody and sell them why they should join your team and the value proposition of that offer. And I'm sure that's been explained a gazillion times this podcast. So I'm going to go back and learn about your offer. Once you have the offer that is there, step number 1. Step number 2 is you need to get them to a one-on-one meeting with you. You got to be able to book one-on-one consultative style meetings. We'll call them recruiting meetings, but they're more like free coaching calls or free business planning meetings. And then the outcome of that meeting is whatever's best for that person, and you have your offer there available to them if they want to join your team. The third step I want to talk about are your training events and what you're doing to get people to your event, because people buy on emotion, not logic. And if you look at all of the coaching firms, you look at all of the companies that are succeeding, the one pattern that is consistent across all of them is there is a live event. It is not just all online and with webinars. Is it, Jeff? Or Matt?
No, sir.
Right? You gotta have live event. And I think a lot of people want to shortcut that because they're fearful or scared of how that's going to work. And then finally, once you have this funnel in place, you have your offer, if you're joining your team, you have your one-on-one meeting to bring them to, you have your events that you're holding. Now you need to get people to know, like, and trust you, and actually convince people that you have some expertise that that they'll come into your event, and then from there they come to your one-on-one meeting. So let's just start working backwards all the way up. Let's start with crafting your offer or seeing yourself. Actually, let's go back first. Changing your identity of someone who's a top-performing, top-selling real estate professional is probably exhausted into somebody that can actually train and motivate and lead other agents rather, and they will work for you at a discount because of that. How does someone change their identity, Jeff?
Well, they have to choose to change their mindset. What helped me change my mindset was visiting with other top teams across the country and seeing that they were no different than me when I was just servicing and was the rock star agent. The only difference was that they had a belief that others may choose to follow them and that they could offer value to those other people based on the experiences that they had had in the business. And I think too often we think too little of ourselves, even though we all puff our chests and walk around like we're God. I think we really truly have a lot of insecurities, especially real estate agents. And what I will share with our audience today is if you sell more than 9 houses a year, you are above the average. You have the right to teach and train and lead other people. And most people listening to this probably are in the 50s or hundreds. And so other people that are averaging 5 to 10 deals a year will follow you if you have a path to put them on to follow you. And too often I don't think agents have self-actualized to actually know what that path was that made them successful. And so I think in a big part of self-discovery is first defining why did you become successful before you can lead others to follow that same path.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's great.
Yeah, sharing what you learn, sharing what you're learning is a good kind of first step for somebody who's really struggling with that kind of identity crisis, rather than sharing from a place of I've reached the top of the mountain and I'm going to show you how to get there. Just changing it into more of a mentality of I'm on the climb. Let me share a little bit of the journey. So I know that's helped me. I mean, Frank, you're the one that pushed me to blogging and sharing what I was doing. 3.5 years ago, something like that.
I remember when you were absolutely terrified of the idea of doing a live hangout.
Was I?
Yes.
All right, I don't remember that. That got swept under the mental rug. But yeah, I mean,
it did get swept under the mental rug. It did. Yeah, no, I literally
have no recollection of that. Yeah, but that is 100% true. I changed, but I changed through action, right? So I didn't change by trying to change the mindset beforehand. I changed by the act of sharing what I was learning, talking with people, getting that positive feedback, and then I started to see the relationship and the way that people interacted with me change by the fact that I was sharing what I was learning and doing on a daily basis. So I think if people start to do that, even if it's at a small level, whether it's a blog, whether it's on Facebook, whatever it is, whatever they're comfortable starting out with, just those first steps will absolutely help.
Yep. For me,
I think the number one question that anyone listening to this should ask when deciding if they want to take the next step or level up is, why can't I do that? And I'm very rebellious. Everything in my life is like, why can't I do that? It's like when someone said, oh, look at this new car. I'm like, whatever. I could have that car if I want. Why can't I do that?
well,
And
that's
so when I saw all these other real estate teams, it's like, why can't I do that? So anyone listening, if you're an individual or you have a small team, you want to get bigger, no one expects you to do it overnight. Don't worry about the outside factors. All you got to do is a little bit more every single day. Hire 2 agents this year. Hire 1 agent this year. And I think the fear is that people think they have to be just, like someone else, and they compare themselves. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. You are your worst enemy. Just do a little bit more.
Hey, man.
Good.
I would say I would go to these events and like I think I could teach this stuff. So I would encourage, if you're really afraid of stepping up and building a team, is go to Jeff's event, go to other real estate training events, and you're sitting there like, dude, I literally understand everything that's being taught on stage, and you're ready.
So a quick
anyways,
shameless plug, Frank. Frank and I and Johnson are all going to be at an event in 2 weeks. It's the Team Building Summit. We'd love to invite everyone to attend. Tickets are $297. There's
Omaha,
a VIP
Nebraska,
ticket
where we're from.
Mm-hmm.
There's tickets for $497. That's a VIP ticket. But jump on the teambuildingsummit.com, learn about it. You're going to get to hang out with us for 2 days. And it's not the workshop. Some people have had some confusion with that. I do host a monthly workshop. And we do have a few dates that I'll share with you that are coming up for the team building workshop, which is just a full day inclusive event all about scaling and building a real estate team. May 21st, June 11th, and July 30th are the next upcoming dates for that. And you can find those on eliterealestatesystems.com.
Yep, and I'll be going more in depth in this 4-step system we're talking about. So the next step, I don't think you've done, Jeff, but we take our people through Vyral on this, is we basically write out, I have them give their, more or less, I have them go give, or record rather, their entire recruiting presentation. Like, say you're sitting in front of a real estate agent and you're explaining all the reasons why they're going to work at a reduced split than going with the broker directly. And we take that and we write it down and we put it on a web page, which is called in marketing your primary offer. It includes what the splits are, it includes the calculator, it includes the problem that your team solves, and it literally writes out everything about why someone should join that team. And we put it up as on a web page on the website. I think the ultimate goal of all the recruiting is to get people to that page and put their information in. And a couple ways before you start doing like events, and a couple ways you can get some people to that page of like writing your presentation down. See, what this does is you can scale a message, you can't scale a relationship, and it's very difficult to like train people to be on message all the time. So what you do is you write down exactly what that presentation is, and then you hire people to bring you bring people to the message, where people are the messenger, not the message type of thing. Right?
It's like a pre-listing
Yeah, pretty much. So the goal is to get as many people as possible to essentially read that and say, I agree to it. Awesome, let's go.
Right.
And it scales. So one of the ways that you initially promote that we've had some pretty good results with, that initial offer of join my team, you haven't done any videos yet, you haven't done any events yet, is putting up on Indeed, actually under real estate agents, believe it or not, putting it up on Craigslist, and sending an email out to your entire database. Now, this is kind of up to you and your comfort level. You can certainly send it to all your buyers, sellers, and past clients. We've had clients do it and got results with it. Or you can send it just to the agents that may be in your database. That's another discussion. But the point is sending an email out to your list saying, hey, if you're looking for a new opportunity or you're a current agent looking to grow, I got this offer. Come check it out. Click here. And it just kind of takes some easy traffic, if you will, right back to that main offer. And the quality of the lead that you get from an ad like that is top notch, because you don't want a bunch of low quality leads, which you're probably used to if you're doing typical seller buyer online lead generation, because then you have to hire a recruiter to call them all. What you want to do is kind of tighten the faucet more or less by putting all the information online, putting all the splits, putting all the information in there. So you only get a handful, but they're people like pretty much ready to go.
Right.
That's an important distinction if you don't have the staff necessary to do this. All right. So
we will include in the article, if you guys are listening on iTunes or Stitcher or watching on YouTube, there will be a link that will take you to one of these example pages. Frank, you'll have that.
Oh, absolutely. And if anyone's interested in reaching out to Vyral, just call us here. There's probably right now 10 to 30, no, probably 20 to 30 landing page examples of someone explaining their entire team offer. Everyone's a little different, of joining their team where someone can opt in and say, I'm interested in this, let's talk. I mean, that's
What's
what
the best
we're
site
all
for
after.
that, Frank? Just getvyral.com.
Yeah, go to getvyral.com and ask to speak to John McMillan. He's in charge of the recruiting program here. I'm getting that executed, and he has a bunch of links he can send you. It's all live online.
Well, and you guys have a special class that's just specific to this whole recruiting process that we're talking about today, and it's like a 20-week course, isn't it?
It's 6 months. So without going in, let me kind of explain that really quick. So we have the core viral marketing plan that we've been doing for nearly 10 years, which for real estate professionals is interviewing them about buyer and seller tips and buyer and seller Q&A and information about the community that goes to your buyers and sellers and homeowners and past clients and centers of influence to help you get more listings and more people call you to sell their home. And that has been our core program. That's like 95% of our business is helping you with a great, what's called in the industry, a 33 touch for your database. However, a lot of guys like you, a lot of our clients that are selling homes need to recruit, and they can't afford a recruiter. So like Frank, how can we apply those same concepts of building a database and publishing content and putting offers online and landing pages, that type of stuff? How can we apply it for recruiting? And a lot of people hired us to help them with that, but needed a lot more guidance. So I decided to actually create a course that we guide people through. I actually call it an implementation group. It's an add-on to our core service, and you actually work with me and my co-founder, John, and we guide a small group of about 24 agents through a 6-month program with a 1-hour meeting every single week to help you implement an entire recruiting system, which essentially is like starting a second business in many respects of like a coaching and training company, is essentially what this is to get people involved with you. So more about information about that's up on our website. But I want to get back to that core offer. Some of the best advice I can give anyone when they're trying to build a team is whenever you're doing like a sales presentation or recruiting presentation, make sure it's recorded with the other person's permission for like note taking, because you nailed it. It got the job done. And now you can have it written down, you can have it turned into a video, and now you can scale that message where people will sign up without you physically having to do it. That's huge. And that's what's all about putting the primary offer up on the website. So now that you have this primary offer up on there, there's a second offer we recommend on your agent training website, a separate Facebook page that's dedicated to training agents. And that's an offer for a free one-on-one business planning meeting. If you are a real estate professional and you want to have me to help you personalize a business plan for you and exactly what to do, come get a taste of exactly what we do every single week with our agents here for like a weekly meeting, let's say. Come meet with me. No recruiting pitch, no sales pitch. Let me literally guide you on what you should do to grow your business. And you will have some agents in your marketplace that consume your content. We'll get there to take you up on that. But really what that offer is for you to pass out at the end of your trainings. It says if anyone here would like a one-on-one meeting to personalize the information you learned at the training today, just book it here. This is not a recruiting pitch. It is literally a one-on-one meeting to personalize the information for you today. Does that make sense?
What I like the most about that, and I think most people will identify, is when you go to a recruiting event or you go to an event within a different brokerage, they do a training. I feel like a lot of times there's not a lot of value there. You feel like it's just the same message that you're hearing from everybody. But this one-on-one, you can actually use your talents that you've learned that have helped you be successful to show this potential candidate exactly the step-by-step process they should take. And then, of course, you then should be the solution to help them follow that process and have it be easier than if they should try to go about it on their own.
Yeah, so for example, I just came back from an event, and on my desk, there was this sheet of paper that basically said, hey, do you want to have a free one-on-one meeting with us? And if you do, we'll give you a copy of this book. And it basically has this questionnaire that you fill out, and then somebody will call you to have a business planning meeting. I think what's basically the whole idea behind the one-on-one business planning meeting offer It's just something you extend to everyone at the end of the event, to your current agents too, by the way. You extend it to your current agents and anyone who's not an agent in there. And that's how you start having business conversations. And you're very clear, this is not a recruiting pitch. I should actually be charging for this for like coaching, consulting, but it's free to you guys because I actually want to help you. Got it? And the talk about joining the team just comes up naturally if they bring it up. All right. So anyways, let's get to the third offer. In order to get the right people, that's probably the most important word here. In order to get the right people to actually meet with you one-on-one, and then from the one-on-one meetings, you can actually bring up your recruiting message if it makes sense, if it's appropriate. You got to get people to a live event, a live training, real in person where they can touch the desk and it's not through a webcam, Matt and Jeff. It's a real event. Do we know what those are? We still know?
I host them all the time, 3 a week.
Right? So we got to have a real event. And what we teach here at Vyral that is a little more scalable than what you've been doing, Jeff. So Jeff has been doing a wonderful job of, you have 3 trainings a week. Why don't you just briefly tell the audience what you do for your trainings one more time internally?
Yeah. So every Wednesday we have a topical training, and agents actually now through our coaching business can spend $17 a month and have full access to all of our Wednesday topical trainings, which would focus on the listing presentation, buyer presentation, negotiation training, open houses, social media strategies, and the list goes on and on. There's about 6 months of content. Then every Friday we do dialogue training that goes along with whatever the Wednesday topic was. So if Wednesday's topic is list pres, Friday's topic will be objection handling on the list pres, and you'll only listen to us doing overcoming objections on Friday. So there's 8 total hours of content a month for my agents to consume, and 8 total hours a month for our coaching clients to consume. It's all live streamed to our coaching clients, and they can engage and interact with the trainer as well. And then the third hour of training every week that's specific to just my team is what we call Agent Launch. And it's for anyone that's joining our group, and it really helps them assimilate into our culture, our expectations, and kind of that roadmap, if you will, to building and scaling a successful business for them.
Good. So Jeff has done a wonderful job and has his team training that and has put together the content. And that's a big, are you ready for this metaphor? That's a big cookie to nibble, Jeff, for somebody just starting off. Right?
It sounds like it is, but it's really not.
No,
I understand.
It's
not as amazing as it sounds, just so everyone knows, like, don't be intimidated. Yeah. We started doing daily coaching in 2011, 1 hour a day. We had just joined Boomtown, and we wanted all the agents to learn Boomtown as fast as possible. So every day we spend an hour on a different topic within Boomtown. So for anyone that's not doing training now, just pick 10 topics that you think are the most important thing. Your list pres, your buy pres, negotiating, pick a couple topics that you feel like you could talk to your agents about, and then invite people to come out and learn more about it.
Cool. Now, what I want to share with the audience here is Jeff is what's doing is working 100%, and absolutely model that. But I'm going to share a little tweak to that of what we give our clients that's a bit more scalable, a little easy to bite off, if you will, for your training event. So one of the things that you'll realize with these coaching companies that people follow, all the different big coaching companies out there in real estate, is there's these very standardized events. Like, for example, you go to Tom Ferry's Marketing Edge, and it's the same event taught over and over and over around the country. For anyone that's followed Tony Robbins, if you've been to UPW or Date with Destiny or Business Mastery, like that entire event is scripted. Like Cry on Demand, it is repeated over and over and over. Like almost each event has its own brand. And the reason you can do that, by the way, is that's how you actually scale, where you hire an instructor to teach the material, not from experience, and you can hire instructors to teach it around the country, etc. But the point is, I really like that model. So one of the easiest things that you can do to start recruiting agents is to hold a monthly or quarterly business planning workshop, where it is, hey, real estate professionals and current agents, do you suffer from commission confusion? Are you just like completely confused of what you're seeing in these Facebook groups? Are you just confused of all the different ways to work an expired or a FSB or whatever you see on YouTube? Is there a competing idea for literally everything to how to go about building your business? Well, relax, rest assured, I have found the way. This is the way that we follow on our team. This is our method. This is our procedure. And I'd like you to come to this 3-hour training event, however long you need. It could be a day, it could be an hour, whatever. But I'm going to teach you 6 things. I'm going to teach you exactly what we do and what you do to generate leads. I'm going to teach you exactly what we do and what you do to convert them. I'm going to teach you exactly what to say in your listing and buyer presentations. I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to know about your listing and transaction management process. I'm going to teach you exactly what we do and what you need to know for past clients, referrals, and repeat business. And if we have some time, we'll talk a little bit about what you need to know to hire your very first assistant, because we do actually have people build teams on our teams here. So if you're interested in writing a simple, clear, one-page plan of exactly what you have to do to sell homes right now based upon the proven models and systems we follow here in our team, sign up for this free real estate training event.
Frank, let me add one more piece to this that I just implemented. It's going to blow everyone's minds.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't say that very often. If you're doing a 3-hour workshop, and we are also going to start doing the same, you can get that workshop CE credit certified. All agents have to get between 15 to 21 hours of continuing education every 2 years. So imagine if you offered this workshop for free and it included 3 credit hours of continuing education. How many more agents do you guys think would attend?
Oh,
Jeff,
God.
just adding on the value, just
So
nonstop. Uncle Jeff.
All of our team building, all of our team events that we invite outside agents are now CE certified. So starting next month when we invite people to come, our ads are going to say free CE classes. Come join Omaha's Elite Real Estate Group for their monthly training and get 2 credit hours of free CE.
Wow.
Jeff, I just see a cartoon here of next time you come to San Diego, I'm on the beach and it's you with a bulldozer just piling sand on top of me, burying me in sand. And sand is the metaphor of value.
Wow, Frank. I love it.
Like,
Oh, my God.
that's the ad. That's the ad you're gonna run. I love it.
Oh,
You know
my
what's
God.
so funny? I would love to for anyone that listened to the Greg Harrelson podcast 2 weeks ago versus this podcast, they're both so valuable, but oh my gosh, how about a different energy, right? Like this is like so, like I feel like I'm talking to someone so wise. I'm like, it's like Yoda.
Yeah, Johnson.
A man of few words, slow, but just delivering crazy value. Good work, Frank.
Yeah.
You should have heard Greg and I, dude. Matt Johnson even called it. I was like, Jeff, you were in rare form today. It was intense, dude. So if you haven't listened to that one, go back and listen to Greg Harrelson.
Talking to Frank is like just liquid clarity. How's that?
Oh, good. All right. So look. So here's the deal,
Good job,
guys.
Frank.
Is
We almost done.
no. You go to Eventbrite. So go to Eventbrite, and you write the copy, you write the content for your free business planning clinic, workshop, whatever, and it's the same thing. And you copy and paste it 12 times and create 12 events. It's the same event, same message,
Right.
just different date and time. And literally, like, add an events tab to your agent training site where it's like, here's the event and here's all these dates. And literally, they're planned out for the year. Now, I say one a month might be excessive for someone new starting off. You probably get away with like one a quarter, whatever.
Let me jump in quick. We just used Facebook events. So if you don't want to do Eventbrite, you can also create events on your Facebook page if you've created a Facebook page, and then people sign up there. And that's also really good because it gives us an idea of how many people are coming. And we usually buy drinks and food and stuff like that for people. So.
Yep, either or. Eventbrite will tell that too. You get the registrations. The point is you put the event up and plan it out for the year, man. This is when you're going to do your events. And it's the same event. You know who taught me that was, I actually coached with Mike Ferry for a year and a half personally. And I asked him, like, Mike, how in the world are you around for like 40 years, dude, in this industry? And he's like, I'll tell you exactly. I teach the same thing over and over and over. All my events are exactly the same because there's no new fundamentals. There's no new fundamentals. I'd be deeply suspicious of anyone that says that's new fundamentals of someone manufacturing brand new antiques or something like that. I think that's a Jim Rohn.
Frank, a huge fear people have if they create this event and they tell everyone about it is that nobody shows up. What happens if nobody shows up?
Well, first off, I would always ask a couple of your existing agents to be there because your existing agents probably want the training to like refocus. Because look, dude, everyone needs to be brought back to the light. Like this is the way to do it. This is the proven repeatable system. And you have to understand, like, every vendor out there and like everyone is trying to compete for this agent's attention to sell them some shiny object, and it's so easy to fall into that, where they need to be brought back to this core model, So I think a lot of your existing agents will be there.
So that's exactly the answer. That's
Oh,
the
is
answer.
it?
The event isn't for John Doe public. The event's for
Yeah.
your team. And you're excited to promote it to your team. Come to this event. And hey,
Yeah.
also, we're not only going to offer it to our agents, we're going to invite every agent in the country
Everyone else
to come out to this event for free. That's how unique this
Yeah.
is. That's how abundant mindset I have. Because
Yep.
you want your agents on board with this as well. You want them to be excited.
But I think what's really important is the key takeaway here is that it's the same branded core business planning workshop that brings it all together into a one-page clear plan. And that's your primary core event. And then any other events you want to do, like, I don't know, how to get Facebook leads or how to work expireds, are all supplementary events that tie back to the main event of the core business plan.
Yep.
And what's really important too, and I want to say this again, is you need to kind of stand for something in the marketplace of ideas of different business religions and methods of going about building your business. So you want to make sure that you're not just putting out a bunch of random training and just confusing the crap out of people. Like any training that you do, any videos you put out there, all need to somehow complement or extend the core message of this is how we sell real estate here in our team and how we do things.
Yep.
Right?
Frank, can I give a 60-second kind of recap of what our religion is on my team, just as an example? So we have a training called the Big Picture Training. If someone wants to see an example, there's an hour training where we opened up our office to anyone. We do this every 6 months, this specific topic. And our belief is that a newer agent should focus on 3 buckets. One is Sphere, one is outbound prospecting, and one is internet leads. And our team, if you choose to work with us, will give you up to 30 to 50 internet leads a month, and will allow you to work those leads, but we have certain expectations around how much attention you should give those leads. And it's our belief that if an agent wants to make $100,000 a year, we know based on analytics that they need to make 150 calls to execute one deal, and they need to do 36 deals to be able to make 6 figures. So we take the 150 calls times 36 transactions, divide that over 52 weeks, and that essentially helps us establish how many outbound calls each agent would need to make per week to be able to allow them to make 6 figures. And then we help them focus on those 3 different buckets of lead sources and discover which lead source they're best at. So at the end of each year, we reanalyze, hey, where did like using the 80-20 rule that you learn about in the 4-hour work week with Tim Ferriss, he talks about how 20% of your input usually gets you 80% of your output. So I just wanted to share that for 100 seconds just to kind of show that is kind of the foundation of our big picture training, and then we show the agents that come and visit exactly the step-by-step process to determining which lead source within each of those buckets they want to focus on, how to track analytically their return on investment with the energy and money and time that they're spending behind each of those.
Good. Yeah. It's important for the audience one more time at these events to understand that this is the team building podcast. It's not the brokerage building podcast. Typically with a brokerage, it's a very cafeteria model of strategies. Hey, here's literally everything you could ever possibly want to know about everything of building a business. I have a gazillion videos, a gazillion reports. I don't
Let
really
us
care
confuse
what you
you.
do. Do whatever you want. I don't care. Just sell some houses.
Just pay me my monthly fee so I can cover my commercial building space.
It's a cafeteria approach, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's what it is. Now, I don't like that, and if you're running a team, don't model that. It really needs to be more if you're a team. People are looking for certainty. That's why they're working at a discount. All right? And to give them certainty, you have to give them the answer of this is the way we're going to do things. You want to make sure your message stays focused to that. Okay? So anyways, enough on that. So the point is you have these events. A couple of tips. One, you could certainly find a sponsor to maybe help out with some of the cost of promoting it, because who doesn't want to be in front of agents? This event is brought to you by this title, mortgage, etc., whatever. All right. Second, get it recorded. Record it. Use video. Have someone record the videos. And now there's many answers I have to this when it comes to creating Q&A video content for your newsletter, but one of the easiest ways to create some blog content, YouTube video content, the material that you need to start getting the attention of agents in your marketplace, so they spend time with you online, so they eventually come to your event, it's just cutting up excerpts of your training, like little 1, 2, 3 minute little excerpts, And if you just record the whole long thing and just send in, the timestamps. Let me just give a little other tip with this, by the way, because this is kind of useful. When you're speaking at an event, make sure there's a giant clock in front of you. Just a clock in front of you facing the audience, right? So the audience knows what time it is, but more importantly, because there's a camera on you that has the clock. Got it? You have someone taking notes of like, oh yeah, at 4:12, that was a good point. Or at 5:16, that was a good point. Or at 6:27, that was a good point. Like someone's thinking of your blog content. And then when you have this big, long file of the entire recording, you have the timestamps, and when the video editor gets it, they can jump right to the clock at that point, and there's the clip. It makes it super easy to pull out little excerpts from the videos for your blog content, which leads me to the last step. We need to have an outbound and an inbound strategy to get people to consume your content, your free stuff you put up online. I won't go into that too in depth. I think people understand, like, put some training videos on Facebook, put some training videos on YouTube, put some training videos on the blog. I think people understand the concept of that. It's more about like, how do I get people to actually watch it so they consume it and come to my event, take a one-on-one meeting, and join my team. In many respects, this is how you went from 25 to 50 agents in 1 year, Jeff. You know, you decided instead of just recording my trainings, I'm going to live stream them. And that's the content, right? So let's now kind of move into the last step here, is an outbound plan and an inbound plan of how you're going to get in front of your target agents that you want in your MLS or nationwide, if you're going that route, to get them to spend time with you online, consuming your business training materials, which is the number one key performance indicator of the likelihood of your marketing actually getting someone to actually do something with you. It's not views, it's not likes, it's not shares. I've met a lot of broke people that have lots of views. It's about the right people spending lots of time with you. That's what gets people to sign the line that is dotted and make a decision. That's the most important metric. So getting the right agent to consume it so they kind of fall down that funnel again to your event, one-on-one meeting, and to eventually join your team. So let's talk about inbound. Jeff, you run Facebook ads to agents in your marketplace. How do you do that? You can target agents on Facebook?
So we've actually chosen to build an audience with the Facebook page. So we call it Omaha's Elite Real Estate Mastermind. And I created a template Facebook message that I then had my virtual assistant send to any agent in our market that sold less than 20 houses 2 years ago.
Okay, so let me rephrase the question. So let's talk about the outbound strategy.
Yep.
So you have an outbound strategy to reach out to target agents. This is what you did. So explain that to the audience.
Okay.
Go back, say exactly what you said there, but this is the outbound plan.
Yeah. So we wanted to create an audience first, and then we ran targeted ads to that audience. So I'm not running Facebook ads to anyone to come to our team trainings. I'm running those ads specifically to the agents that I have identified as the type of agents I would want to have on my team eventually, should they choose to go down the recruiting path. But like you mentioned earlier, it's never about recruiting. It's always about creating value and showing them why our team is so great and how we're unique, but it's not saying to them, hey, you should join my team. I don't say the word recruiting in the whole hour that I spend with people in my office once a month. So to create this audience, I first had to identify who I wanted to have part of it. I then created a Facebook message and I had my virtual assistant. You could have anybody, you could do it yourself. Instant message every single person on this list that used their first name, insert the template message, which just said, I'm starting this mastermind for agents in Omaha. It's going to be the biggest mastermind where we can trade ideas and share information. And I'm going to open up my office once a month and invite you all to come and attend one of my team's trainings. I think it'd be awesome if you opened up your office as well and invited me to attend one of your trainings. You can guess how many times that's happened. 0. So everyone accepts this invite. Who wouldn't want to be on this mastermind page with the top team in Nebraska sharing all of our ideas? And then we live stream all of those events to that page, and we run a $500 Facebook ad every month, inviting people to come to the upcoming event, and we target only the people that have accepted to be part of that group.
Jeff, I'm just laying on the beach, man, and you just keep piling the sand on.
Yeah, it works.
You got a bulldozer. It's great.
Oh, right.
For anyone that doesn't know Frank, he's the best fluffer in town.
So, anyways. So we have an outbound plan of you hired what's important for the audience to understand is a messaging assistant. They reached out with Facebook messages. It could be email messages or whatever, but you chose Facebook because it was easier to get through that way.
Yep.
And
let me stop you here. I chose Facebook because up to this point, I don't know how you can mass Facebook message mass amount of people. And so I thought the agents would trust that it was me via a Facebook message more than if I just sent out a mass text or a mass email. So I was very intentional with the choice of using Facebook. And I had a lot of agents respond and say, is this really Jeff? And then I would actually respond to anyone that responded. And then I would throw something out there to show them that it was really me. And real quick, Facebook will block you. I think we only could do about 50 invites a day. 50 Facebook messages a day.
Yeah, it depends how seasoned your account is, how long it's been around. So you had someone proactively message target agents in your market to get
the
them
agents
to your,
that I identified as the people I would want on my team, which is anyone selling less than 20
to
houses.
get them to subscribe essentially to your training, which was your newsletter. We'll just call that your Facebook page, right?
Correct.
Where
And then before each event, we run the $500 ad, and then I also have my virtual assistant send out another invite with the link to sign up for that upcoming event to every single person. So they see the ad and they get a personal invite from me for every upcoming event.
Yeah, I think what's important to recap into this so far is like the actual cost here is not very high. So the whole idea here is how do you recruit without having to pay a salary to an experienced recruiter pounding phones? There were no outbound calls here happening, were there, Jeff?
No calls.
No calls. All right. So what does this really cost you? You got to sit down, you got to put up a web page, you got to put your offer on it, besides like having some marketing support of like an assistant, but like.
I mean, it doesn't need to cost you anything. We chose to run ads. We wouldn't have to run ads. You could do it all organic.
But so
a couple
far, it's just
$100 a month probably.
Yeah, putting your offer up on a web page, putting together a little bit of an offer that would meet with you, putting up some events on Eventbrite or Facebook page that says you're going to provide some trainings. And then just doing your training, even if there's an audience of 2 people, just, I've always wanted to do a video, but this is a very side note. I wanted to do a video where it's me like teaching something, and they would cut to like reaction shots that I got from stock footage of a giant auditorium. So it looks like I'm actually speaking in front of all these people, and it cuts to reaction shots of people going like this, like all these people, but it's really just me standing in front of my camera.
It'd be pretty funny.
Oh, man.
That's kind of funny.
Well, I mean, come on. The best one would be, it has to be the audience from an infomercial from like 1980s.
Oh yeah.
Like a Ron.
Settle down, everybody.
Ron Popeil. Yeah. I want Cosby sweaters in the audience. I want like weird, super polite, enthusiastic applause.
Yes.
Like I want it all.
It's the Tupperware scene from Napoleon Dynamite with the wife who's like, I want that. She goes, I like that, because he has the Tupperware, and then if you do it that day, you get the sailboat.
So you have your training.
That needs to be in your video.
You do your scripted, this is my 3-hour workshop, you do over and over and over. And like I said, what's very nice, at some point, you could hire somebody to teach that material where you don't have to be doing it, someone on your team, because they're teaching the message, not from experience. That's a very key distinction of how you scale something like this. All right.
I would recommend when you invite people from outside your team for a specific event, you need to have your strongest representative there, whoever you feel is the strongest to build the most value. Mm-hmm. So I usually do personally lead that monthly meeting when we have people visiting.
Yep. So now we've gotten to this point where all you really need now is just to hire an assistant, and this person can be overseas, wherever labor rates are there. They could be someone for part-time minimum wage, just wants some steady, simple work. You don't have to invest in some well-trained phone prospector, which is huge. It's expensive and turnover's high. You got to give them a path. You don't have a path for them, right? Yep. But they're proactively outbound messaging agents. Now, Jeff, let me ask you, how did you build your prospect list of the best agents that you want? I know there's services like Broker Metrics, or you could just basically work the MLS to build your list that way. How did you identify the agents you want to
I think we just took like 2,000 every year. You can export every transaction and sort it based on agent name. And so we just took anyone that had done 20 unit sales or less.
And then did you have to manually pay someone to match that up with Facebook to like literally look up their name and
my virtual assistant would just search their names in Facebook, and they just make sure that the account they found was a licensed agent in Omaha, because most people's Facebook page will say realtor. So they'd search like Matt Johnson, realtor, Omaha, and then their account would pop up. And that wasn't, I don't believe, very hard. The challenge is if you use the email address, a lot of times their work email address that's on the MLS is not associated with their Facebook account. But in some instances it is. So she could use their phone number, their email, and then their name.
Yeah.
But my virtual assistant did all that, and that's how much, Frank? $1,800 a month. If somebody would want to hire 1,000 calls to help with that.
I have to tell you, man. Just on a side note, Jeff, personally, I implemented that for Vyral, and that's how I get people to my workshops, and it was a game changer. So I teach 3-hour workshops all over the country. Same idea, same program, same core viral marketing plan. What I did is I went on Upwork and I hired somebody for $10 an hour for 20 hours a week. And I got them a separate email account. So it's under a separate domain name as opposed to our main domain name, just in case of any spam complaints if you're outbound emailing. But they do about 75 emails a day outbound. It's about 4 hours to message somebody. So I'll give them a list of saying, hey, here's, let's say, 70 times 5. Here's, I don't know, 1,500 to 2,000 people I want you to personally invite to come to my event, and put the Eventbrite link in there. And they wouldn't reach out as me. They would reach out as their own name, but they would say, hey, this is Seth, Frank Klesitz, the CEO of Vyral Marketing, asked me to specifically reach out to you to invite you to this upcoming event. It's here at this time. It helps. The event is designed to solve this specific problem in your business. That's the key message there. Check it out. We'd love to have you. Link to Eventbrite, Seth. No question, no call to action. Just get them to click the Eventbrite link. And he gets hundreds of replies. And it's not even asking for a reply. And I would never get that kind of conversation started, if you will, with phone calls, because everyone's just angry when you call them and you're not a buyer or seller when you're calling agents,
Even if you are.
Good point.
Let's face it.
So anyways, this whole idea of an outbound messaging assistant. Oh, and by the way, little tip, if someone's emailing on the outbound, you can't just send out like 75 outbound emails in a brand new account that quick. So what we did is we installed the Boomerang add-on. So he schedules the emails to go out over a 24-hour period, all 75, between certain hours. So he can come in and work for 2 or 3 hours or 3 or 4 hours, and then use Boomerang, and Boomerang will send them out at the right times throughout the rest of the day. So Gmail's cool with the number of outbound and inbound ratio that's going out over a period of time. Another thing to discuss, but I do want people to understand this outbound messaging assistant to bring people to your content is powerful. And then when it comes to inbound, you decided just to boost your stuff to the people on the Facebook page. Another option, this is totally up to you, is you can actually target local real estate agents on Facebook, because you can target by job titles.
Right.
So you could type in anyone that has realtor, real estate agent, real estate professionals, probably like 50 to 75 different ways people call themselves realtors. They have to add in for job titles. But you could probably reach a few thousand people, if you will, if you're in a decent sized market of people on Facebook, just by the job title they use in their profile page. On top of that, if you have all the email addresses, let's say, of what's on publicly available in the MLS, you can upload that as well. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And Facebook will match those email addresses up with user accounts so you reach people that way. The point is, there's probably a percentage of the audience you can reach just on Facebook that way. And we run 2 ads to that audience. One ad, well, actually, no, I'm sorry. That is incorrect. We run 4 ads, all right? The first ad that's in front of that audience is, here's my latest piece of content. Click here to subscribe to my Facebook page or join my real estate training newsletter. It's free. It's something for all agents. It's the best tips what we're using. Come sign up. That's one ad that's an option that runs in front of the audience. Second ad, come to my next business planning workshop. Here's the dates, or you can just go to all of them. Come find out the dates for all my business planning workshops. Come register for one. Here's what they're all about. Here's my little sizzle reel from the last event. Come to workshop. Third offer, third ad. Hey, need some personalized one-on-one help and guidance to actually implement and sell homes? I'm happy to meet with you free. No recruiting, no pitch. I'll guide you and give you some advice that makes some sense. Click here to book a time with me. Got it? That's the third ad that's running on Facebook to that audience all the time. Fourth ad, can anyone guess? Real estate team offer. Headline. I have a lot of funny ones. What comes to mind initially is, do you give up? Or something, or, just like, it's too much for someone to do, Right. I really like the idea of, do you want all of the rewards without the risk? Do you want all the rewards without the risk? Is the stuff you're trying to implement, are you not in a stage of your life where you could take all of the risk that's necessary to sell lots of real estate? Well, I have a team, and not only do we give you coaching and guidance, but we help you reduce the risk. I really like that headline. So that kind of gets to the heart of the matter. And you have that there. So what happens is you have the Facebook's automatically rotating these ads all the time in front of this static audience of realtors, and it just stays in front of them. One client we have, Tim Heil, is a lot of guys doing these expansion teams all over the country in like all these different markets. And this is how you can recruit expansion partners. If any of you are in that, is you pick out your 20 markets that you want to go into, upload the list of realtors, pick all the realtors there, and just start running those 4 offers. Because people will be in different stages of the process with you. Some people are like, yeah, dude, sweet, join the team right away. Other people may take up an offer for a training event, or other people might take an offer for joining your newsletter. But that works out really well. And what I would recommend, we've been having really good results with the Facebook lead ads, where it's just, hey, do you want to sell more homes in less time without taking all the risk to do it on your own? Well, come join our team, yada, yada, yada. Put your information, we'll call you about joining our team. And we're getting a significant number of people, clicking that lead ad, because in the lead ad in Facebook, without getting too technical, it actually automatically populates the information directly from your Facebook profile into the form. So no one even actually needs to type anything in, which is crazy. And you get a lead that way.
That's cool.
So that's been working well. So these are just little ideas, but I think what's important for the listener here is you don't have to hire a full-time or part-time recruiter to pound phones to recruit. If you do a good job with marketing and get your message on point to speak only to the people who you want on your team, this is going to make you a better trainer for your existing agents. And the same training you're providing your existing agents, you're marketing to other agents in the marketplace. And you just put it out there, and people that are just naturally have an affinity to your content are going to naturally gravitate towards you. So you hear things like attract, don't chase, or positioning yourself as the guest instead of the pest. You hear talk about what's your funnel, what's your marketing campaign. That's literally exactly what we covered today. We covered a recruiting funnel with those 4 steps. Let's go over one last time. Top of the funnel, free real estate agent training, newsletter, Facebook page, content. Next step down, come to my 3-hour or 1 day or 1 hour standardized business planning event where you walk away with a business plan with the 6 main pillars of your business that you can implement now to sell homes. After the event, come meet with me for a one-on-one free personalized business planning meeting where I will personalize the material that you learned in my 3-hour event just for you. And then finally, the offer at the very bottom of the funnel is if you are interested, you can reduce the risk and get more guidance and probably make more money. Don't take my word for it. Here's a bunch of testimonials. You can join my team. How's that sound?
Where's the tractor with all the sand? Just dump it on Frank.
Just
dump it on him.
Oh,
Frank, great job today. That
stop.
was awesome.
So much value, Uncle.
Amazing. Too much. And I'm speaking for the entire audience.
Yeah,
Frank, great job. If you guys want to thank Frank and all of the knowledge he bestowed upon us, please go out to Stitcher or iTunes or YouTube and rank us. We'd prefer it on iTunes, 5 stars, and also leave a quick little paragraph of what you found to be valuable and give a shout out to Frank. Thanks again, Frank. That was awesome. Matt, anything else to add?
No, make sure to subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, all that good stuff to the show itself. And then make sure if you are listening to this live or within the next couple of weeks, make sure to check out theteambuildingsummit.com for all the dates and stuff like that. And then, Jeff, you mentioned you've got the dates for upcoming workshops as well.
Yep, and I threw those out there earlier, but I would love to share those one more time. We've got an event coming up on May 21st here in Omaha. We have an event on June 11th And then we have an event on July 30th. And those are all-day workshops. It's $2,997 to attend. You can bring a guest. You get access to our entire Google Drive for life with all of our intellectual property. You also get access to a private Facebook page, which is a giant mastermind group of other attendees. And we've hosted hundreds and hundreds of top agents and brokers and individual agents all across the country wanting to stop selling real estate and start focusing on building a business.
Awesome, guys. Well, Frank, thank you very much. Guys, go check out getvyral.com to learn more about what they do and how you can implement that same 4-step plan, essentially, whether for recruiting. You can learn more about the recruiting classes that they have going on. But if you want to implement that core plan, the core strategy, just for your existing database to generate more buyers and sellers out of the existing relationships you have, go check them out at getvyral.com. And speaking of like all the testimonials, go read them because they are insane. Just the number and the quality, you'll be absolutely blown away by the results that they get. So definitely go do that, guys. Thank you so much for watching, everyone that's watching live and listening to us after the fact. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on the next one.